do you plan your trip? When you're going somewhere, do you take the time to plan the trip? Or are you just one of those guys that, you know, you just go, you know, pack whatever you see and hop on an airplane or a car or whatever your vehicle is and hope for the best? In landscape, for any photography, you need planning. The trip is only gonna be as good as your plan is, and you need to investigate, you need to study the area you're going to. I got inspired to talk a little bit about this because I saw Tony's Northrup video about his Iceland trips. I usually, if I see something about Iceland, I usually click on it, being from Iceland and all. So, and I saw, you know, he was kind of making fun of himself and because he didn't plan and he messed a lot of things up. And for an amateur, I guess that's what happens. But if you are a seasoned photographer or even a pro, you want to plan ahead. You don't want to make some of the mistake he did and a lot of people do on those landscape photography tours. My work involves a lot around logistics. I'm a photo guide, but I would say, you know, logistics, and the most important thing is safety. I need the group to be safe, and you, as a traveler, you need to be safe and you need to take some precautions. First of all, and one of the things Tony mentioned in his video was, well, navigation. You have to know where you're going, and the thing is, if you rely on your phone too heavily, what are you gonna do if you lose your phone? You know, you're somewhere in the middle of nowhere, your phone is gone, and your only way to navigate was there. Basically what you have to do, you have to drive around and try to find something or somebody and hope you just don't run out of fuel doing that. But a better alternative would be to have a map. Because people got around before cell phones and they managed fine. So when you're traveling, yes, use your cell phone, use your GPS, but always have a map to fall back on. And on that note, there are a few websites you need to know of if you're gonna travel in Iceland. One of those is this one. This is safetravel.is. There is all information you need about traveling safely in Iceland. This is really important. This website here, this is about the road conditions. What road is open, what road is challenging, what road is 4x4. You have all that here. There is no need for surprises there. And you need to know this telephone number, 112. If you get in trouble, if you have a phone, call them. They will help. Another huge factor regarding safety is weather. So you do need to check the weather, both to check if it's safe. On this website here, you will get, well, information about the weather, the predictions for the clouds, how they are behaving, which is really good if you're gonna shoot. And also you will see warnings if there are any warnings regarding weather. So, and you know, find that out, check that out every day. And if there are warnings, you know, don't ignore it. Also on safetravel.is, they also hand out warnings if some conditions are shady, both for weather, too much water in the rivers and all kind of stuff. So these two websites are really important to check out. So now we covered navigation and weather. These two factors are extremely important. Plan for it, then reconsider your plan every day according to those factors. And also remember where to get help if you need it. Have a plan, have a first aid kit, have all the necessary essential so you don't bleed to death over a small cut. Next thing to figure out is where do you want to go? What are your locations? What do you want to shoot? Write that down and then plan the route. And it has to make sense. If you're going to shoot something at the south coast of Iceland and in the West Fjords of Iceland, it doesn't make sense unless you have a month. So write down your locations, what you really want to shoot, and find out a realistic time and route you're going to take. And once you have the route, you can start to find hotels, accommodations, being hotels or camping or whatever you want it to be, and the vehicle you're gonna need for the trip, because that's not like constant. If you're gonna stay on the asphalt roads, you're gonna need a simple car. You don't need anything else. If you're gonna go to the highlands, you're gonna need a 4x4, and then it depends on where in the highlands how extreme of a 4x4 you need, because all 4x4 were not created equal. So you're gonna find the one you need for your trip. And also, and this is summer, highlands are summer. If you're gonna do it in the winter, well, you're gonna need a 4x4. It's icy roads. A lot of people tend to, save money on getting a cheaper rental car. And my advice, don't do that. Think about it. You might save a little money, but what's the price? What's the price tag on your life or your health? It's just that serious. I mean, for example, if you never driven on a gravel road or an icy road, you need to be careful. You need a good car. You know, this really, if you think about it, driving on an icy road, there's nothing to it. It's quite easy until things go wrong. Then you better have some experience, at least be able to stay cool, to be able to and know what to do, because this is not a simple thing. This takes years of practice. So with a 4x4 you are much better off. So do that. Even in summer, it's just better on gravel roads. Oh, and one thing, when you plan your route, don't plan it too short, meaning it always takes longer than you expect. And I find that it's much more value in fewer locations and doing it well than a lot of stuff that you're not going to be able to do properly. Here I'm doing my YouTube thing, and I got fans. This is my fan base. 2 people, that's a start. So once you have the route, you have the hotels, you have the vehicle, you got all that down and all the safety precautions, what about equipment? It's pretty simple. You need a camera, and obviously a backup camera is not necessary, but what are you gonna do if your camera fails? So bring a backup. And the Holy Trinity is sufficient for just about anything. For me, that's my 16 to 35. I'm talking about lenses here. My 16 to 35, 24 to 70, and 70 to 200. That's what's sometimes called the Holy Trinity for a landscape photographer. with that you can get just about anything. And then we have stuff like, you know, you need a few batteries, you need a few memory cards, you need a hard drive to back up your stuff. I actually have a video about how I pack for Iceland and how I would pack for Iceland if I were you. Take a look at that. That's kind of answers your question. What about other equipment like a drone? In Tony's video, he complained about like he couldn't fly his drone anywhere, and that's not true. In some of the the biggest tourist spots, there's a no drone fly sign. But anywhere else, you know, if you're not in some of the national parks and stuff like that, but Iceland is a big, there's a lot of stuff you can do with a drone. So if you want to, you know, bring your drone, bring it, you know, by all means, and you can use it a lot. You can not fly it over the head of people in the glacier lagoon. You cannot do the waterfalls, the big waterfalls, and you cannot fly it in the national park. But that's not a lot, and there's a lot left. So equipment-wise, usually I will say this: if you are a beginner and your equipment is limited, just bring everything. And if you are you're not a beginner anymore, you have more stuff, you kind of should know what you need, because that's kind of depending on your photography style and a lot of things. So check out the video. And then there was another thing that Tony talked about with, it surprised me that a professional photographer had this problem. You know, I'm not talking down to anybody. It just surprised me that you're doing a landscape photography tour and you have no idea when sunrise and sunset is. It strikes me as odd, and sorry, but if your daily routine is waking up at 9 a.m, you're probably not a landscape photographer. I don't know, you know, you could do that in Iceland actually in the winter, you know, take sunrise at 10. But in any other country I visited, you know, if you wake up at 9 o'clock, you missed it. It's done. You know, you can just go back to sleep. At 9 o'clock we're back, we're having breakfast, maybe a little nap. This should be part of your research, and this is if you're an intermediate photographer or more, or a pro, you plan, you investigate, you research, and you can have a lot of things go wrong, but this should not be one of them. And also, if you do like get wrong information and you miss something, you know, and you wake up too late one day, don't do it the next day, you know, adjust to it. It's that simple. But this video was not made to piss off people, Tony, or it's just like, you know, I had an idea to make this video when I saw his video, because it's really important. It's more important than the trip actually. It's, you know, if you just hop on a plane, you know, you don't check out what you want to shoot, you have no shooting list, you have no idea where exactly you're going, you just randomly order hotel and then you take any car, you have no idea where you can take this and where you cannot take this car. You know, you just have some equipment what's in the back, no extra battery, no extra, you know, if you don't plan, you're not a pro. Or you were drunk. Or something. At least. Thank you for watching. Bye.